So guys, I want to talk about this because I actually find this really, really actually interesting. And now I'll pretense this video by saying this is not me trying to shit on Elite. If that's how it comes across, I apologize. I actually find it interesting about this topic and the possible ramifications of it. So some of you may not know, especially if you don't follow Elite, is Drew Wagar is actually leaving the Elite Dangerous community. Now, I know a few people are going to be like, oh my god, he said this before. He even makes a joke about it. But he's saying no, for real, he's actually doing it this time. And he has said why, and we'll play that for you in a sec. But what he's doing is he's leaving Elite Dangerous, and he was playing a little bit of No Man's Sky, but he's going to be getting involved in Star Citizen now. And I find that really, really interesting and sort of what it means for in-game events and stuff like that. So, before we jump into that aspect of the theory crafting, let's hear from Drew why he's leaving and why he's possibly moving on after 9 years, mind you. Now, to give you a backstory, this is the guy that has written books for Elite Dangerous. He has designed a in-game event, or was a creator of an in-game event, whether or not you like the outcome of it, cough cough Harry Potter. At the end of the day, regardless of the outcome, he was still responsible for hosting and creating this in-game event, which is why I'm actually interested, because now if he's jumping into SC, are we going to get some of these as well? But we'll talk about that in a sec. So let's hear from Drew, in his own words, why he is possibly leaving Elite, and we'll go from here.
Which I think we've seen as a result of trying to get updates out, trying to get quality in there, and then bugs appearing and reappearing and stuff like that. So there's lots of change in that space. Now, an awful lot of the people who work at Frontier now weren't working at Frontier when all this kicked off 9 years ago. Okay, so I feel like I watched the entire history of the game throughout this sort of thing, and it's time to, I've just been around too long. I think I'm a liability to the game now. We don't need old people harking on about the good old days, because there were just as many problems back then, and there was less game. Okay, if we'd been given Elite Dangerous Horizons as it is today, back in 2014, we'd have all been utterly gobsmacked, right? It's genuinely a really good game. I have no complaints about Elite Dangerous Horizons, really. I think it's really impressive. It's on the screen now. It looks great. It's a really good game. It's just, for me, after 9 years, I've been there, done it all. So there's nothing left to do. And I've tried all the multiplayer stuff, and we've had lots of fun, and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's good, but it's done. Now, if you're a new player, and you've just popped along into Elite Dangerous in the last 18 months, then go knock yourself out, because it's a fantastic game. You have huge amounts of fun. There's lots to do if you haven't been around for a long time. Birdbrain, our imagination filled in the gaps back then. It did, yes. But things are a bit different now. We need more content, and that's an elusive term for Elite Dangerous, really. What does content mean? And I think we could debate that for hours and hours and hours. That's a problem. So primarily, there's other stuff I want to do, okay, and I've only got so much spare time to do creative stuff, so I do want to do that. That's one reason for stopping. EDO is not working yet. From my perspective now, your perspective on this may be different, because we've all got different thresholds for what we regard as acceptable. Personally, it's not. For you, it may be. But that's the thing. Okay. The third bit is I don't want to cause any angst. Okay. I've been seeing that basically, if I tweet anything about Elite Dangerous, and if you go back through my tweets and various different things, sometimes I've been positive and sometimes I've been critical. But every time I post something that is even slightly negative, I'm noticing certain people popping up and basically giving me a hard time. And I don't want to give them any aggro. I don't want to cause them any grief. I don't want them to feel that they need to defend stuff. So I'm just not going to do it, okay? I'm not going to talk about Elite anymore, because there's no need to. I think all the points have been made. So I'm going to leave them alone, and, you know, they won't have any cause to complain about me because I won't be saying anything. So, you know, and that's good. I'm not going to post on the forums anymore. I've left a last post. Oddly enough, I left it in the off-topic forum, which is where my previous post had been moved to for reasons I didn't really understand. And nobody... The funny thing about the off-topic forum, of course, is nobody reads it. So I think only 2 people have spotted it so far.
Now, I'd have to find the section, but he also talks about Horizons. Not Horizons, sorry. He talks about Odyssey. And he says that the soul of the game is different now. He believes that Elite Dangerous has lost its soul. And he sort of alludes to it a little bit there as well. I get what he means. For me, I own Horizons. I'm frantically trying to find people to play with. Because I do want to go exploring. Just like jump in a ship and just go exploring at Elite one day. And we might be teaming it up with Captain Bruna and Mayhem, maybe. But like I say, look, at the end of the day, he's right. Odyssey is a very different beast, and he feels, and this is not the first time I've heard people say this, it feels like the soul of the game has been lost or been replaced, and it feels like it's lost its soul. So, what does this mean for Star Citizen? Well, that's the $1 million question. Right, because at the end of the day, this is a author who writes sci-fi. He's a science fiction writer, and he's written for Elite. He's done in-game events for Elite and stuff like that. And he's, you know, whether you like the event or outcome or not, like I say, regardless, right? But like here, if you go to Elite Dangerous, right, here's the novels that he's written about reclamations, promotions. Like, he's literally written books for Elite Dangerous. Now, at the end of the day, he's leaving that all behind, and he's now jumping over to Star Citizen. What it might mean is we might, at the very least, get more events like the Daymar Rally, sort of in-game community-hosted events. I don't know if he's going to go and work for CIG. I don't know about that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if CIG would employ him, not because of history or anything like that, but just because they already have their own law department, right? But at the end of the day, he could definitely do the in-game events like the Hurston Rally and the Daymar Rally, and stuff like that. And he's sort of gone through and he had a stream here where he went through and he's seen what his computer can do, because he doesn't have the state-of-art PC. He's got like a 1070 and stuff, which is, it's fine, it runs. And he's gone through and he's basically ran Star Citizen when it came to the Free Fly event. And yeah, he liked it. He liked it a lot. And he says here that he's going to be streaming Star Citizen in 2022. And then if you go to his event strong here, like he did the whole Armstrong moment, where he basically went through and, you know, and showed the Armstrong movement that you don't get from Elite. Not technically. You know, this sort of stuff. But as he said, he's gone through and he's made the official announcement of Drew Wagar, Star Citizen, Twitch, YouTube on 2022. And he put up this Cutlass ad, which is actually really, really cool, actually. I'm not sure if he's done the visual effects himself, or if he's just found the video from somewhere. But yeah, it's definitely cool. I will put a link in the description below to his YouTube channel and to his Twitch, so please do go and follow him and give him some love. But guys, yeah, it's interesting that this guy who's literally written books about Elite Dangerous, who's done in-game events, is saying the soul of the game is no longer there and is now coming over to Star Citizen. I think it's a win for Star Citizen. I really, really do. I think it's a loss for Elite. But it's kind of interesting to find out or to imagine what sort of in-game events or what sort of novels or whatever he might write based on the Star Citizen universe. In that video I showed you before, where he was going through and playing Star Citizen for the Free Fly event, he did talk about the fact that he wants to know about the lore and stuff. So, was it this video here, I believe? Yeah, here. It's in here where he talks about it.
To give some perspective, well, it's my initial impressions of Star Citizen, really from the impression of a science fiction author. That's what I do. That's who I am. That's what my expertise is. If I have any expertise, that's precisely what it is. And so I'm just going to observe. I'm just going to look around and maybe pass a few technical comments on my stream. Very much kind of what that means.
Now, interesting enough is when he does his stream, I've watched his stream. I've watched it twice actually because I fell asleep the first time. No reflection on Drew. I've just been working crazy hours. He actually has some really, really good points. Like, for example, he talks about here, like the tomato sauce bottle. He says, it looks like the standard bottle that we have now. He talks about the bottle here for the plant. He says, that we're still using plastic spray bottles and supposedly 900 years in the future. And he doesn't make any remarks as to, like, oh, this is stupid or anything like that. He's, like, curious as to, like, well, I wonder if this is because society is maximized its potential and this is the optimum design, or if there's some sort of class system or something. So it's interesting to see how his brain works when it comes to science fiction. Stuff that you and I might never have thought of. Although I think I've heard people talk about the fact that we use plastic bottles before. He even talks about here about the toothpaste being left in there and being left in the bath. Bath in the shower.
Metropolises and all sorts of stuff.
So at the end of the day, it's interesting to sort of get like a science fiction writer's perspective on this thing. And that's where I think it's going to make the most amount of impact. Is like he's a writer. He's a professional writer for sci-fi. And, what sort of things does he sort of pick up that... And by the way, he loves the whole fact that drawers open. It's easy for us to sort of roll our eyes and go, oh, yeah, whatever, sort of thing. But I suppose we tend to get a little bit... I suppose we tend to get a little spoiled when it comes to Star Citizen, don't we? We sit there and we open a bar fridge and we're like, oh, yeah, okay, whoop-de-doo. Like to people like him or normal people that play normal games, this sort of stuff just doesn't normally happen. Like he was going on about the cupboards, the wardrobes. But, like I say, yeah, as for the impact of him coming into the community, he says he's been warmly welcomed. He's been welcomed with open arms. He loves the community for that. And he's like, it's interesting to me what sort of stuff that he can sort of arrange or do or organise, like in-game community events or whatever it may be. Other things like the Daymar Rally. And that's where I think we're going to benefit the most. We never know. We might even get some Stargate. We might even get some Star Citizen novels written. That'll be interesting. You'd have to talk to Chris about licensing and stuff. Maybe you'll be able to do that. But, you might be able to write some novels regarding Star Citizen, stories. Someone in particular might be working on a 8-season machinima that is like one big story arc. Maybe Drew could write books or stuff like that for that sort of stuff. So, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But it's definitely interesting the fact that he's A, leaving Elite, and B, coming over to Star Citizen right as this exodus seems to happen. And I think it's a larger symptom of the larger symptom of the cause, whatever it may be. I'm tired. But you know what I mean? I think at the end of the day, it's showing that there's a problem, a fundamental problem at Elite. And like I've said in previous videos, I want Elite to succeed. I really, really do. 2 space games are better than 1. Because games will compete against each other for their fan base. If you have just 1, it is a possibility, not a certainty, a possibility that Star Citizen might rest on its laurels. So I want 2, 3, 4, 5 space games that are absolutely amazing. Because that then will then go through and actually force Chris and the team to keep thinking outside the box, to keep going through and forcing them to keep pushing the boundaries. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Personally, I think this is a benefit to Star Citizen. And it'll be interesting to see what Drew has to bring. Whether he's going to write books about Star Citizen now, or if he's just going to play the game. Is he going to have some sort of in-game events or something? It'll be interesting to find out. And Drew, if you do manage to watch this for some reason, I will take you in the video. Welcome to the community. Welcome to Star Citizen. Welcome to the dark side. We have cookies. Quite literally on the cupboard. But yeah, like I say, welcome Drew, and welcome to the community. Welcome to the verse, and I hope you enjoy yourself. And who knows? Maybe we'll still see Drew kicking around in Horizons. I still like playing Elite, Horizons at least. So yeah, who knows? But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. I am going to go to bed because apparently I've lost the lattice to speak properly. No one will probably get that reference. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself, everybody, and we'll see you in the verse.